Hey, whoever is left out there in the crypto trading or investing world, this is coinpicker.us, and today we're going to go over when is the bloodbath going to end for cryptocurrencies, what some of the news, the impact has been, and then some of the changes in the financial market. If you have been a subscriber of mine, you're not very surprised about what's going on here, and I will get back with you in a second. Just to get some bookkeeping out of the way, if you are a subscriber of, actually a paid subscriber of coinpicker.us, I'm making sure that none of the renewals occur because I am not making recommendations to trade in this market. I said that, made that decision, so I don't want you to pay for anything. I am going to continue my email updates and I'm going to continue the service. At some point, when I think the coast is clear and I can really add some value and make some money for people, that's when we'll reopen things. But for now, if you're a premium subscriber, you still have access. I'm going to be updating. But my last update, for those of you who watched it, I don't know if you did, my last update talked about how I said I did not like what I saw in the crypto market. I thought it had further to go and that it was in very, very serious danger. And that is exactly what has happened. We blew, when I made that, I think we're 65, 6,600. We might have bounced up to 67, but now we're down at 61.48, holding on for dear life. We have not even bottomed yet. We are showing signs of it, but we have not bottomed, and this is on a weekly basis now, which means in a longer term perspective, we have even potentially further to go. Now, on a daily basis, it's even worse. On a daily basis, we could still go further down based on the stochastics, meaning we have an extremely oversold, which is almost hard to believe, but that is the case. I imagine if we dial down for a couple, down to 4 hours or something, yeah, at that point we're looking like we're headed for somewhat of a reversal. But in the bigger picture, on the daily perspective, we still could go further down. And on a weekly perspective, we are looking for a bottom to reverse. But keep in mind, we are at the point where we're basically many of the Bitcoin, if you want to call them producers or miners, are no longer profitable. So they could be dropping out of the network. You get performance issues. Some of them are the ones that have a very tight operation and low cost of electricity and all of that. But the bottom line is in the entire crypto space, and I mean, EOS has taken a whopper punch to the gut. Let's see here. Yeah, EOS is down 15%. So dramatic underperformance with EOS. But the entire market is just looking for a bottom at some point. And as I said, I went out on a limb and said this is what I expect to happen to my subscribers. I did not want anybody involved in trading unless you are super tight with your stops and watching it all the time. With that being said, what can we look at? What can we look for in terms of a potential reversal? Well, on a 4-hour basis, it looks like we're right at reversal territory. But I don't expect that reversal to be a blow through to the upside. If anything, we'll just re-pierce the downward channels and just marginally recoup a little bit of what we've lost on a daily basis. That also, and in fact, on a daily basis, we still have a way to go to the downside, and on a weekly basis, we're looking for a bottom. So if you depending on what your time frame is, if you're day trading, hour trading, you could make some profit here. I'm not bothering with it. It's too small of an opportunity as far as I'm concerned. I don't see a radical upside move at all. And on a weekly basis, we're not at a point where I would buy in. You'd be catching a falling knife, and it's unlikely that, I mean, there's still a way to go. On a monthly basis, we are getting closer to the reversal point. We're already overextended here, but that can happen for quite a while, as you've seen here. We really need to see CCI get a little bit further down to the channel, which will establish something along these lines right here. So we don't have that yet. So on a monthly basis, we have a way to go, which is also something I mentioned. So the Bitcoin market and the crypto market is at a critical juncture where if we really blow through 6,000 support, it's a long way down to 3,000. And that's a realistic possibility. It'll dramatically shake up the market. It'll shake everybody out. And only then will you begin to get opportunities to buy back in. So those of you who followed me out of the market at 750, you're thanking your lucky star. 750 billion, you're thanking lucky stars. Those of you who haven't, you may have quite a while to wait. Several months at least to wait. Now, in terms of what the news is, certainly Mt. Gox has been a bit of an issue. You also have probably some of the Japanese. I think it's right here, somewhere around here. Japanese, where is it? Japan hit 6 more crypto exchanges with business improvement orders. That has to hurt. That has to hurt significantly. Irish bank, Bitcoin broker claims crypto-related accounts are being closed. All these are problems. Of course, what's going on in Ukraine, I think it's probably a marginal issue, not very much, but Japan definitely would be. And those are some of the issues. But I think the bigger issue is that the smarter money is assessing that we're at a dangerous point across all markets. Now let's take a look at what's going on in the standard financial markets. What we have is very marginal to so the Dow is underperforming right now for the year, meaning it's not advancing. It's treading water to going lower. NASDAQ is slightly above its recent high, but just ever so slightly, and that could change in a day or so. We have a ridiculous concentration in what are known as the FANG stocks: Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, all that stuff. Ridiculous level of concentration there, just primed for a pop of the bubble. Although admittedly they're all good companies. Admittedly Netflix isn't, but all the other ones are relatively good flunks. Amazon is taking it in the chin right now as well. I don't like Amazon one bit, but still we're marginally higher with NASDAQ, so nothing impressive. Now let's take a look at what's going on with commodities. However, gold and silver have taken a hit, which is totally seasonally to be expected. Again, my subscribers, I made you aware of that. I said this is the time when gold and silver bottom. Typically, it's in June, July. July is one of the great months to buy in. I bought in at 1642 and I sold out right at 17. It was a trivial trading income, but I'm buying back in again. I'm buying back in again. So I'm buying in and buying and selling out. And I didn't sell everything, but I did that just to capture what I knew was a relative high point before the market dropped. It was too small for most people to take advantage of, but when you buy with options, do all kinds of things like that, and also buy physical, you can get in and out with that kind of a slim margin and still make a profit. Now, if you look at what's going on here, we see primarily green, while we see a lot of red here. Now these are just marginally up, but what's taking place is what I have said would take place. Commodities are going to catch the bid versus the stock market, which has already had the bid. It's already been bid up. But commodities is a market typically that very few people participate in. They suffer from it. They suffer from high oil prices. They suffer from copper going up, which goes into houses, but they don't participate in it. Very few people participate in the commodity market. Now, more people can with ETFs. It makes it somewhat easier. But that's what I'm saying is the relative outperformer to be involved in. As far as the crypto space, right now, unless you're an active trader and you're really dialed in for hours and minutes and maybe sometimes days, I would leave it alone for the time being. Come back to it. Or develop some positions if you're really comfortable with it. But I say we're at a point where we could see further downside. Now, we're also probably going to capture a little bit upside, but ultimately the risk is to the downside. It's not to the upside by a long shot, which is what I said in my presentation. If those of you who are subscribers, there was like a 40-minute presentation where I talked about immutable trends and what I expected in the crypto space, and it was right on the money. It's exactly what happened. It dropped down further, and I think it's got further to go. The stock indices aren't rocketing significantly higher. Dow's gone down, but commodities will be the place to be. So that's the general trend. But if you've been if you're a subscriber, you know that I was talking in detail about what the primary opportunity is, and that is, I'm not going to talk about it here, but that's basically where to focus. So this is coinpicker.us. I know it's not like an upbeat report, but we're dealing with reality here and money and numbers, and I don't want to paint a false picture. I think there's still downside risk to the cryptocurrency market. I think There will be eventually a recoup of some point. That's showing also in the indicators and just logically, but we're not there yet. And if you get involved at this point, you are risking more capital unless you're very tight with your stops and can get in and out of the market. And also, I might add, and there's something else, this kind of market movement leads to businesses shutting down, exchanges running out of liquidity, Tether going belly up. That's what happens when you have really dramatic downsides and a lack of participation. In fact, I got notices from several of the exchanges and other services that I use, and I use basically everything I can in the crypto space, saying, hey, refer a friend. No longer are they shutting down access, they're begging for access. Refer a friend, get $25. So that's showing you that the market has shifted. I'm not leaving crypto space. I'm just aware that it's no longer at this exact period of time the greatest opportunity, as these charts are and indicators are showing. I mean, I could look into. I mean, EOS is EOS is getting its head bashed in. Let's take a look at it on a daily basis. Actually, EOS looks like it's finding a bottom on a daily basis. It better because it's been thumped. But I think EOS has, as I said, longer term, very strong potential. This is not an unexpected development, especially when they raise that much money on the front end. But on a 4-hour basis, it looks like it is trying to find a bottom. But that's the same thing that's going on with BTC and the rest of the market. And on a daily basis, it actually looks a little bit better than BTC does. But none of these are run and make money trades at all. None of these. None of these are ones where you just have to get in right now or you'll lose money. In fact, I would say the bottom line is none of them are presenting really good opportunities in the crypto space. The really good opportunities are probably right here. Tricky to take advantage of, but that's where some of the really good opportunities are. And as far as the news goes, nothing was immediately nailed to the wall as this is the reason, but a lot of things could have contributed to it. So that's it for now. This is coinpicker.us. I'm going to send out an update probably this weekend for some longer term pictures. And if those of you who aren't subscribed to the free email newsletter, just go ahead and fill it in here. And I will go ahead and send you my free updates, and also my subscribers will be getting another update. But that's it for now. Coinpicker.us signing.